Imagine being surrounded by people with cholera, plague, smallpoxes, and other infectious diseases. Welcome to Sinchu Video Rental Shop. Need any viewing recommendations? Just come to me because this is my grandmother's shop. In every episode, we'll present a new release. You will hear stories of our world-famous island, charitable hospitals, killer tigers, and some of our grandest mansions, and finally get to know our 5 major dialect groups in Singapore. All of these are specially curated by our kind distributor, Singapore Federation of Chinese Clan Association. Located 6.5 kilometers to the south of Singapore. It's St. John Island, and in fact, Sir Stamford Raffles made a pit stop near the island the day before. He landed in Singapore in 1819. A stopover at St. John's and come over to the mainland. This became a pattern for migrants and visitors. But why? As an entrepot, Singapore was attracting migrants, valuable goods for trading, and also infectious diseases. After a severe cholera outbreak killed 357 people in 1873, the British built a quarantine station at St. John's the next year. That same year, hundreds from Swatow, China who contracted cholera arrived at St. John's. But the quarantine facility was only made up of a few atap houses and it was too small. But over the next 100 years, it grew to become one of the largest quarantine stations in the world. By 1935, it was comparable to New York's Ellis Island and Egypt's Al-Tor stations. St. John was celebrated as a beacon of British Malaya's success in disease control, and a giant model of it was displayed at the British Empire exhibition in 1924.
The quarantine station was actually an important institution during colonial British period in Singapore. You had ships coming in from China, from India, the Middle East, those who were returning from the pilgrimage. They would actually go through a medical process, medical checkup. There would also be vaccinations given if there was a need for it. You can clearly see these sprays that were coming in and people were actually made to go through it. Now in the past, they were actually made to go through it naked. But then there were also a lot of complaints saying that it was actually unethical for them to do so. So they allowed for people to go through it with minimal clothes. So this is just to protect the dignity of the people going through it. There was a kind of bias and discrimination going on. Those who were in the first class, second class of the ships that came in, usually they would just have to go through a few hours, but those who were in the third class and the lower classes of the ships would actually have to stay much longer on the island. So it was felt that it was not so much because of the medical conditions that they had, but because of the fact that they were non-Westerns, to put it bluntly. This went on for a while until, again, there were complaints that were made about this. And then the British basically said that they were going to try to change conditions and try to make it better.
I'm curious. Do you know what the people on St. John Island used to eat?
In St. John Island, they were given firewood, rations, and pots so they could do their own cooking. For breakfast, it was usually nantai roti and some tea. For lunch and dinner, they had eggs, vegetables, and fish. Oh, but people, they complained that they saw centipedes and cockroaches while cooking. Oh, and do you know, they have a mosque, a temple, and a post office on the island as well. But the quarantine station officially closed on 14 January 1976. By then, people mostly travelled by air, so ships became a less popular mode of travel. Oh, so are you surprised by the richness of stories in a tiny island like St. John's? Sinchu Video Rental Shop has more in store for you, so remember to like, share, subscribe, and come back for more. Coming up next, we'll check out one of the earliest Chinese hospitals. Kamsahamnida.